is the Accelerative Integrated Method. It's a way of helping children learn to speak a second language rapidly. It helps them gain a lot of confidence and competence in the language at a very early stage in their language acquisition.
Le ENC avec beaucoup d'expression.
It's not a thematic approach. It's actually an arts-based approach and literacy-based approach where we use stories, theater, drama, dance, and music to help children become emotionally engaged in language learning.
You have the visual, you have the kinesthetic, you have the oral. It's working on everything. So if they don't manage to get something one way, then they usually manage to acquire that skill another.
Right away I would use the word action because the class we use gestures, we use music, we dance. It's not boring.
If I had to choose, one thing that distinguishes AIM classrooms from more typical core French classrooms, it's the level of emotional investment that kids have in the process and the fun that they're having, and again, that's fuel that drives the learning process.
I just can't say how pleased I am with the pride and happiness I see from teachers when they come to tell me how actually the program has transformed their lives in some cases.
My experience before AIM was that there wasn't a lot of French in the classroom at all. The kids weren't functioning in French. When I introduced AIM, it was completely different from day one.
Honestly, it's reinvented me as a French teacher. I feel that I'm doing something successful and important and achieving levels of spoken and written French that I would have never dreamed possible.
And that's what keeps us going, I think, as French teachers. When I see successes like that, it just fuels you and you just want to keep on going with it, definitely.
The response that you get from the children right off the bat and the enthusiasm that they have while you're teaching them is totally priceless. I couldn't imagine, I wouldn't ever teach French with any other method.
My teachers teaching the AIM approach are happy. I haven't heard a teacher say that they don't like to use this approach. They don't want to use this approach. Out of 80-something teachers, that's incredible.
We were the first board in Ontario to adopt AIM board-wide, and I would highly recommend adopting this program because it addresses so many of the current issues in French. It addresses the issue of building fluency. It addresses the issue of student engagement and motivation. And it also addresses the issue of long-term planning. In other words, having a plan that can span over multiple grades and meet multiple needs.
Jamais!
La reine s'évanouit, Marc l'attrape dans ses bras et appelle le lutin.
So every time you involve those kids in the kinds of learning you're doing, those kids are part of the research paradigm that we follow in education. So I'm excited that we have a program based on solid research.
The parents sit open-mouthed and they cannot believe the amount of French these children are speaking. I had one parent say to me in September, I would never have believed it if I hadn't seen it with my own eyes.
There is no question in my mind that I would recommend this program to any French teacher, especially any French teacher who's trying to deal with behavior problems in a class or motivation problems in a classroom. This is your answer.
I was going to retire. And because teaching French can be at times just like pulling teeth. But with this program, I'm having so much fun that I have extended my retirement 3 years.
We have other teachers asking to see if they could be part of this program because they are seeing it in their own schools, that it is so successful, that the teachers and the students are so happy. So this is what's going on with Histoire en Action. We don't need to promote the program at all. It promotes itself.
In talking to teachers and consultants and people I know in education, they all support your program, and they are sometimes thrilled by it when they see the involvement of those kids and those teachers. Even those who doubt at first come around very quickly when they see it in action.